to secure conviction even in the courts, because the Constitution is also there. The teams will be, to some extent, removed from ordinary day life. They do enough research, they work on it, they are properly paid. Properly paid. This is not a revenue mobilization issue. It will include private and public practitioners selected on grounds of competence, not on grounds of quota or federal character. Now, I want to go very clearly. The judges that will be trying these matters will be given similar conditions. They'll be paid more. They will be secluded from ordinary cases. You are trying a very serious matter, like corruption run into hundreds of billions. Then you are still trying assault, battery, and other distractions. It's the same. The human brain has an extent it will work and it will go to sleep. So the registrars will be specially trained. The bailiffs or the sheriffs will be specially trained in terms of service, so that all these things that are not looked at will not be there.
Doctor,
now there will be a buy-in with the Bar Association for Defense Counsel, so that there are no frivolous applications. The EFCC has done enough, but then there should be engagement with the NBA and then the human rights community. Then we know that cases are timed, and a corruption case should not last more than 3 months.
Okay, Dr. Ananaba, I want to come in here because the solution sounds great, but some people will look at it and say, well, look, does it reflect some of the realities on the ground when you talk about the politicization of some of these critical institutions? You go back to 1999. We know that the PDP, of course, was in power for 16 years, and very key members of even the ruling APC came from the PDP. We know that under this party, many of the judges at all the levels, from the high court in the states to the federal, appeals court, Supreme Court, were appointed under the watch of a particular political party. We know that there are loyalties here. How much of that do you think would be involved in obstructing justice? You're talking about perfect process, but even if you get the process right, if the politics are divisive, if the politics are not right, can you actually get that done?
Now, the point I'm making is there is training, and there is retraining, and there's orientation, and there's reorientation.
But some people...
Now, I get the point you have made. I do not dismiss it. I believe that there could be some degree of, but it is not dominant. It's not dominant. That is why what I had just said is so important, so that we select judges that we know that are not tainted.
But Dr. Ananaba, you know that the legal community in this country, we have a lot of very brilliant lawyers, brilliant judges, brilliant investigators. Yeah. Even the EFCC, many of them are lawyers, for example. So there's no lack of intellect here. Some people will say, look, it's less about training and more about will. What are your thoughts on that?
No, what I'm saying is both of them are important. The intellect and the will are important in a fight against the killer called corruption. Now, you made the point, you asked me questions about the private sector corruption. We've not even been able to tame the public sector. I want to add more. That's why I was saying that if we are able to take some of these steps I had listed out, and our corruption cases are timed. There used to be a time when, up till now, our election petitions would have been on till now. But now that they are timed, it has a cut-off point.
Mr. Okutepa, looking at the criminal justice value chain, what are your thoughts on his assertions?
Now, I still go back to government. I think government needs to be more serious. And I give you an example. A time came when this government, this particular government, identified some lawyers within the legal community that they themselves believed had credibility and had capacity to assist them in prosecuting corrupt cases. These lawyers went into training, were told, and I had the misfortune to be one of them, we were told that go, cases will be assigned to you. A lot have to go away because nothing was forthcoming. The rate at which government work at millipede space is not good for fighting corruption. Up to now, for instance, you don't have head of ICPC. What's happened to the names that have been mentioned in the press? Why is it that the names, these people have not been confirmed? Or do they need confirmation? Why are they not working? So, it seems to me, with respect, that government took on itself a task